of the 2024 election. To our staff, both permanent and temporary, we say, Ayiko, you have worked hard, put in long hours, plowed the field, and done the spade work at the risk of your own lives to bring us a successful outcome. Our hearts go out to our staff who were manhandled during this time. We wish you well, and we ask the good Lord to bless all of you. To our media partners who have journeyed with us and enabled us to bring the commission to the doorstep of every Ghanaian, we say thank you. To the Ghana Police Service and to our partner, the National Peace Council, we say, Ayiko, we thank all of you, the good citizens of Ghana, who have believed in us and allowed us to serve you. To our dear families and friends who have journeyed with us every step of the way, we thank you for your support, your prayers, your encouragement, and your advice. We are conscious that we could not have achieved this success without the help of the Almighty God, our anchor, without whom we could have done nothing. We remain eternally grateful, and I say thank you, Jesus. To all our observers from the ECOWAS, from the African Union, from the ECONEC, from the Commonwealth Secretariat, from the West Africa Elders Forum, supported by the Good Luck Jonathan Foundation, from the National Peace Council, from CODEO, from the Association of African Election Authorities, from the European Center for Election Systems, from International IDEA, from Manso Institute, IDEG, and to electoral commissioners from election management bodies in Africa, namely Uganda, Gambia, Kenya, Liberia, we say thank you for your support. We wish you all Godspeed back home. As the returning officer for the presidential election and in fulfillment of my mandate as enshrined in law, I will now declare the outcome of the 2024 election. It is important to note that per Regulation 63.3 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, the winner of the presidential election must obtain at least 50% plus 1 at the polls to be declared the winner of the election. We have collated the presidential results from all 16 administrative regions, of which 267 of the 276 constituencies have been captured. We have not been able to receive results from 9 constituencies because our offices have been besieged by political party supporters, making it impossible to complete the collation process. That notwithstanding, the presidential results from the 267 constituencies, including the newly created Guan constituency, clearly established the winner of the 2024 presidential election. Simply put, even if all the votes from the 9 constituencies were added to the candidate who placed second, it will not change the outcome of the election. It is important to note that the Commission will update the records on receipt of the presidential results from the 9 outstanding constituencies. Ladies and gentlemen, now to the results of the 2024 presidential election. And the results will be announced based on the positions of the presidential candidates on the ballot. Mahamadou Bawumia of the NPP obtained 4,657,304, being 41.61%. Daniel Augustus Latte Jr. of the GCPP obtained 16,673, being 0.15%. Christian Kwabena Andrews of the Ghana Union Movement obtained 16,461, being 0.15%. Kofi Apalu of the LPG obtained 5,219, being 0.09%. Mohamed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party obtained 4,413, being 0.04%. Nana Akosua Frimpong of the CPP obtained 23,397, being 0.21%. Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC obtained 6 million. Let me take that again. Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC obtained 6,328,397. And I'd like to repeat that. Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC obtained 6,328,397, being 56.55%. Mr. Hassan Ayarega of the APC obtained 17,461, being 0.16%. Mr. Kofi Kranting, independent candidate, obtained 3,320, being 0.03%. Mr. George Chumberima Edu, independent candidate, obtained 3,091, being 0.02%. Nana Kwame Biediaku, independent candidate, obtained 84,478, being 0.05%. Mr. Alan Kojo Tremanting, independent candidate, obtained 31,202, being 0.28%. The total valid votes cast add up to 11,191,422. Total rejected votes 239,109. Total votes cast 11,430,531. It's important to mention that the total registered voters add up to 18,774,159. And the percentage voter turnout based on the 267 constituencies stands at 60.9%. 60.9% based on the 267 constituencies. And as I mentioned, this does not include the 9 constituencies whose results we are yet to receive. Ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned earlier, results from the 9 constituencies are still as outstanding. The 9 constituencies are Ewutu Senya East, in Sawam, Aduajiri, Akwetia, Suhum, Techiman South, Domi Kwabenya, Ablekuba North, Ahafo Anon North, and Damango. The total registered voters in all 9 constituencies add up to 947,116. In the event that all the valid voters from the 9 constituencies above voted for the candidate who placed second, the total number of votes he would garner would be 5,604,420, representing 46.17% of the total valid votes, which would have been 12,138,538. The inclusion of the outstanding constituencies would have given the leading candidate 52.13%, which is still greater than the 50% plus 1 required to be declared a winner. And so even with that scenario, he's clearly the winner of the 2024 election. In the light of the above, ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana with a total percentage of 56.55%. Congratulations, sir. It is finished. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that there was a slight issue with the percentage for Mr. Kofi Apalu. His percentage is zero. The percentage you obtained is 0.05%. And that of Mr. Nana Kwame Bediako is 0.75%. Nana Kwame Bediako 0.75%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair, the returning officer. In lieu of what the corrections made, we are going to run copies and then to be given to everybody, the media, so that they have the correct figures. They take the correct figures along. Thank you very much. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Adumwa Bosman. Thank you very much. At this point, Reverend Ekuya Oforibuatin, she started with us and she apology.
When Mama don't. Why I say, and I say, why I say,
Hello. Ezu. Ezuzu.
All right, Akwaba Kokrumoti Power, your election headquarters. So far, so good. Electoral Commissioner, Yemame Jean Mensa, say there.
Ejumapa, Gunimde, Adorable.
They all know the kind of person I am, and they all know the stuff I'm made of. It's about being independent and being transparent. And I know, for me, I've been able to deliver and I've vindicated myself. You can also attest to that. Look at the collation system that we put up, even at the National Collation Center. Fax machines, each one designated for each region. And when the faxes of the day, the collated result from the region were coming, you also saw that even the cameras were capturing it. Whenever there is an error, we rectify. We are all human beings. So these are some of the things that for me, I have worked and I'm ready to serve Mother Ghana. I didn't join the commission to make anybody president. I didn't join the commission to make anybody a member of parliament. I came here with my experience, my background, and something I'm proud of. And I'm going to make sure that I will continue to work for Mother Ghana, not to any individual or for any individual.
The final question will be one. Now that we have a change in government, you will still be comfortable working as a commissioner?
You saw me having a chat with my elder brother, Dr. Madebuama. That is the beauty of democracy. We are all Ghanaians. Are you getting it? I am ready to serve. So far as I'm a Ghanaian, I'm ready to serve. If I do anything contrary to the order I made before God and Ghana, I'm ready to face the law. So for me, I'm a Ghanaian, I'm ready to work. There is no way somebody can influence me. That is me. You can find out wherever I've been, wherever I've worked. That is me. Nobody. And I know the transparency that we brought on board with respect to this year's election is fantastic. I'm ready to work with anyone. So far as I'm a Ghanaian, I will continue to work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll speak again.
Okay, when you come to Smyrna, let me see you.
Sure.
Akwaba nti abrante na Elton Brobe ne twetwe nkomo no supposedly abrante na Akufo Adonisha amususu se o MPP ni no on say NDC for ne kasa ya say possibly ye de number say o mewiem Emma MPP, but also a professional person. And yes, all right. In Tiensa call Jean Mensa, Electoral Commissioner, or addressing the press.
Totally.
Absolutely. Just that's my question. My last question to you. What is the future of the Ghana Electoral Commission going forward?
Well, to continue to conduct even more transparent elections, we go back to review our systems, our processes, to look at the lessons learned, to look at what worked well, what didn't work well, because it's a whole process, and it starts, as you know, from the registration exercise of voters. And so we're looking at, the whole chain to see what we can do better, and to ensure that we continue to deliver elections that, uphold the will of the people as expressed at the polls.
And you will assist other African countries in doing so?
I'll be very happy to do that. I'll be very happy to do that. Thank you very much.
My last one, with you.
All right, Yemame Electoral Commissioner Jean Mensa, and now it is all Kasami. They said, I'm sure so that better because it's not easy.
Especially in Ghana, or your banner or higher position like this now, Ubia or the Obeka. But we want to appreciate both sides. They say technology, yeah, I'm sure say there have been many lessons NDC for the from 2016, acquire MPP for so FASO, a calculate your results this time around. And so, I mean, within 24 hours, no one to calculate your results in Nina. I'm sure Senator Bibian so I okay. It's right now, there, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana's Trump, they said there, with 56.55%. And the figure is clear here 6,328,397, 56.55%, is now the president-elect.
That's very interesting. One of the profound things we will be discussing, rejected ballots, paper. Wow, 239,109. Nessa, what they said that dear Alan, dear Chumne, Ekikabomukana, why? What could have been the challenge? Entia rejected ballot. Paper no, is it that Adiana and no mentimian ye and answer no more say no. If you look at the general turnout on SWA, 60.9%. What happened? 60.9%. Even in Ashanti region, I had the strongest hold of the New Patriotic Party. Turnout was low. We are hearing say over 1 million people. In fact, Electoral Commission and so said 9 constituencies. And Naka. But no cry boom near the Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia Emfa. 41.61%. Musa Dankwa Global Info Analytics. When you saw your analysis ni nyina me who trends na ekoso any predictions ni nyina no. Obviously, say o compare nyoma na o kan ye margin of error ne dia. Na say ye beka say onya clear as against other ones are omode results and so by omo predicted runoff because I remember so many Global Info Analytics Musa Dankwa ekasa wo Insure FM. The kan ye say me busa no we are sure say yenko second round or say I can state on authority, say yenko second round. One touch, and John Mahama is taking the seat, which I know predicted over 160 plus seats. Emma John Dramani Mahama. Alas, say your company your projection now. John Dramani Mahama seat no obenya close over 180 plus. MPP is struggling to even get 100 seats. My name is Dr. Paul Hezwa, a lecturer, University of Media, Arts and Communication. Memana kwa banafe yensha share with the discussions. When him say comments in the banner bakai se kokromoti power your election headquarters. Your friend Nana Kojo Jantwa. So utie Insure FM a higher 104.5, Asempa 94.7, Adom 1. I say, me wahai, na me tie results ni nyina na me nom Verna. Verna, official sponsor, water. Aye nom ye during the election say go so nom no. Aye Verna, ko pebi nom. E ma tobe bibri. Ti Verna na unso nom bisisia. Doc, good evening.
Good evening.
I mean, surprising with the figures. John Dramani Mahama, unprecedented, 56.55%. I mean, the last time you saw Biatra 53, 54, no? Then Nana Akufo-Addo in 2016. This was somebody, he was rejected. 2016 was humiliated. Ni empene ni mashe, a komni ebufu. The same John Mahama comes back with 56.55%. Sitino wabu omu from. What could have done the magic for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC?
You mean that papa? Let me say, you bet some kakra.
Right.
If you say, figures now, bana 56.55. 555. Yeah, very close to the time of Rawlings. Rawlings no nya 57 horny idea, quite overwhelming. Now,
all right. But maybe CCA, I come back to EC headquarters, CCA. All right. Dr. Maneboa Mai Kasa ewo EC office inti yanko ninkuti ni CCA.
Our uncovering of massive ballot papers in Kwadaso in the Ashanti region. Just imagine if those ballot papers, estimated at almost 500,000, had entered boxes in Ashanti region in favor of the MPP. The MPP would have today been talking about over 1 million votes in Ashanti region as the gap between the MPP and the NDC. But thanks to our eagle eye and uncovering of that deadly illegal ballots in a home, today the gap between the MPP and the NDC in Ashanti region is 600,000 plus. The question is, what has the MPP been doing over the years in Ashanti region? It is obvious the MPP is not as popular in Ashanti region as we have always been told. Check the intervention of uncovering over 500,000 ballot papers and the precipitous drop in the votes of the MPP in Ashanti region. It tells you something has always been amiss. And we are grateful that through intel, we were able to uncover this. There are several steps to be traversed in order to enhance credibility of our electoral processes. And we believe that the commission will not go and rest and wait for another 4 years only to come back and repeat the mistakes that led us into this election. We will prefer that the Electoral Commission of Ghana immediately begins the reforms that are needed, that are necessary to deepen our democracy.
The commission is parting itself for conducting what they describe as the most credible, free and fair and transparent elections. Is that the same vibe you are getting as you prepare to lead the country from 2025?
I prefer to state that we have been extremely vigilant. Elton, we sent over 1,300 people, into Ashanti region. We sent several others to other places that evidence demonstrated that the MPP was colluding with some members of the commission to steal. So yes, the outcome has been great for us and we've won. The question is, but for those interventions, what would have happened? Who printed the 500,000 or more ballot papers? Who printed them? Do you understand? As we speak, we do not know who was holding that particular ballot paper or ballot papers that led to the reprinting of the Eastern and Western region ballot papers. Do you think that if that person was NDC, the person's name would not have been put out there by now? We demand to know. And as I said, power is transient. And we believe we will know. Because until we get to the bottom of these nefarious activities, democracy will continue to be just selection, because people clandestinely will collude with people who have been put in lawful authority and cheat citizens, steal their mandate from them. Can you imagine if we had not been ultra vigilant and the MPP had won this election, the impunity that we would have witnessed in our country, that notwithstanding the fact that the bonds of pensioners, the bonds of citizens had been taken away from them, reduced to paltry sums, you still voted for us, when actually it would have all been because of ballot stuffing. So the commission should not be patting itself on the back just because of our ultra vigilance that we showed. The EC chair, for instance, alluded to opening up IPAC to the media. Go to my Facebook page and check whether I had not requested for the opening up of that particular IPAC meeting. I had. So it was demand-driven. It was not supply-driven. Ask yourself, when we requested to meet the commission and we were demanding that the commission should allow the media to cover, did they do that? So instead of they taking credit for the things that they have been forced to do, we rather expect that they will have deeper introspection so that going forward, we will be able to have an Electoral Commission of Ghana that is truly responsive to the needs and concerns of Ghanaians. I'll give you an example. Today, we are talking about pink sheets flying around. Okay? Ask Dr. Bosman whether I did not call him and demanded that for the pink sheet that were not going to be used, the presiding officers should cross them and write cancel. Ask him whether they sent that authorization. If they had done that, do you think people, criminals, would have gotten access to those pink sheets and be using them like that? Because they refused it. Ask them. We demanded for the Excel formula that was even going to be used to calculate the final results. Ask them whether they ever produced it. So there are more issues, and I wouldn't have expected that Madam Chairperson will go praising herself or praising the commission for the thing that we have basically have to force it on them. We have a brighter future ahead of us as a people, as a determined people. We expect that going forward, the commission lives above board. Fortunately, we have President Mahama going to be sworn in on January 7. You know him. He's not somebody who is going to be influencing institutions to do his bidding. He is a Democrat par excellence. And so you can expect that institutions will begin to work. And that is why institutional reform is also very, very critical.
Just final question for me, though. You've been in government before, and I know that from today the transition teams will begin to work. What do we expect from the MPP now that they have days, weeks to leave office? What do we expect them to do before the NDC take over in January?
That the MPP will recognize the fact that there's a government in waiting. Ghanaians have demonstrated clearly that, look, they were a sham of a government. This outcome, over 1 million gap, is a repudiation of the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia MPP government. That being the case, we expect them to, if they have not finalized their handing over notes, finalize them. And in finalizing handing over notes, there is a reason this period is called a transition period. We do not expect them to be unnecessarily, incurring expenditures or signing contracts that will be binding the incoming John Dramani Mahama, Nana J. Opoku-Agyeman government. And we also expect financial institutions not to be honoring such obligations that the government will be placing on them. We expect them to ensure that we have a peaceful transition. We expect them to also ensure that just as we all stayed in the country for accountability purposes, President Mahama stayed in the country, I stayed in the country, my colleagues, we all stayed in the country for the past 8 years, and we were ready and willing to account for our stewardship. We expect them to do same. Because Operation Recover or Loot will be a reality. It will not be a mirage. There are teeming unemployed youth who came out in their numbers and voted massively for President John Dramani Mahama. They can be rest assured that a 24-hour economy will be implemented to provide them with decent, well-paying jobs. And so, hope is coming. Hope is here. Hope has been declared as the president-elect. Let's listen to the man who is coming to reset our country tonight at 7 p.m. Doctor, thank you so much. You're welcome.
We just finished interviewing him.
All right, here more Dr. Omane Boama and Otese or Casano. I mean, the tough and in say, Ebusano, Elton Brobe Busani say, or the Abasubodi Electoral Commission now, or Sidevi, or Behese Abasubodi and Beko, Wana NDC for Mumoni Daho, because Saoko Ashanti regional. Now share margin this time around now. Omentimi BT NDC bebre te said the ni enima ye say over bear 1 million. It is nkoma ma omani anaho any strategy do mo fa wa Ashanti region na enanka omunya bi twagum bear 500,000 bi omunya say hint bi say nka Ashanti region no kommenya MP before benya na ometwa bear 500,000 bi aba begum ene na ba na ma numbers ne kosra na so Ashanti region is stronghold. But omumo many da hono entimi amasa. In fact, so or compare next Ashanti region etu omu be 600,000 bi. But mind you, for the first time, NDC enya over 30% of Ashanti region. In fact, correct figure near 33% of Ashanti region. E bin see that. MPP so stay. Maybe Napoka se omo targeti 85%. Right now, enche me the numbers any percentage Ashanti region MPP nyaye na it tells you say something was wrong. But Omane Boama say NDC had been extremely vigilant. And on etimi ba ya omamani anahwa ka isi ne nkrofo bi ebebo MPP for amomavie. But yeah calculations no. In fact, the correct gap between John Dramani Mahama and Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, 1,671,093. I repeat, 1,671,093. That is the gap. Now, Mami Mao figure be nominate Dr. Enchichim Komo because near Percy say a BSc payana. And quickly, nam pesa mi hwe JJ die no, se bia EBSC e wo krom happen. Yenya insunsuanso bi gabo ben e na JJ timide ma edubu ahen gabo ben e na JJ de ma omampanyi ekofo. So for example, 1992 edubu ahen no MPP ni JJ ema ne gab 1.1 million votes, 1.1 million votes. 1996 Rawlings Eshekofo no na gab ne 1.26 million vote. 1.26 million vote. Kofo in 2000 Mills Obono gab ne 568,693. 568,693. 2004 Kofo so she Mills and obviously na gab no so just small. In fact, in 2008, President Mills, Ebo Akufo-Addo, Ewo battle nimuno, the gap was just 40,586, less than 50,000. 2012, Gaba, John Dramani Mahama, Edebo Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, muntie gab no, was 325,863. 325,863. 2016, eya nanko focus on Nana Akufo-Addo Bojo Mahama 1 million. No, that is inaccurate. The real figure in 9,000. Andrew 1,959,000. 2020, so Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, Eshe John Dramani Mahama, gap 510,800 plus. John Dramani Mahama, Fourth Republic, first time in history, the gap between the opponents, 1,671,093. Dr. Paul Hezwa, amazing. Because some person may call back, question say be a BBC now. John Mahama Fourth Republic was set a record.
Perhaps say unprecedented as it is. If we say so share gap now, you have bought since 92 now. You can see a 1.6 million plus. It's not just say BB and Akoso. Big case upon Akoso. If you say, oh, share the institution acquire now, it means that, it's not just say, we acquire Akoso.
And then a bit me a man, yes, sir. I mean, surprisingly, Papa Yempeno, 2016, Ghana for Yempeno. Nkofo buofu. Then 4 years, Yempeno. Ade.
Well, a number of factors. Bakone said Ghanaians spoke with one voice. What share the character of the voting now nationwide? Utimu say MPP won just I think 2 or 3 regions.
Yes. Northeast, Eastern, and
3.
Ashanti
Out
3.
of 16.
Yeah.
Not just the totality, no, a complete. There's a Ghanaians spoke with one voice. I don't know man akobane sana. I was here say a ding and a money basa. Now one of them, election where one of the key issues na economy. Clearly na economy.
Samu.
Na economy. And I feel so a referendum on the performance of the Akufo-Addo government to some extent, because Otumu say phobi na Ghana form and omode to sa abano. Internet man koba say ye hu sa gap na abano because it's unprecedented 1.6 ebi wumpa dos.
Enti yenhwe economy. I mean, ye tie voice no, the yewra kan no. I'm wondering why, as of the time, Nana Ghana for bread and butter. Because one of the factors in 2016, analysts say bread and butter issue. And Omudi Tutia John Mahama. It was one of the factors.
Yes.
Because John Mahama was looking at Messi, KJTia, my Terminal 3, my Quine, and Green Book, no, Shewe, no, Crassi, and friend Commissioner General. Right? Ghana forced to be here, here, Dianeno. And surprisingly, a futu na Yadema Nana Akufo-Addo say a comedy bufuno. Oh, yes, I obey no. I wonder why one for self futu na the same advice no etimia kwetiomu. What could have been a problem?
Well, just say one homework in the sense say bread and butter issue no. It is what is playing out this year. 2016 never 2020 never and 2024 so actually say no one equal. In fact, gone are the days and the previous election years are now the infrastructure my acquiring my C school are dining at the we be say na say come me I cannot concentrate me to me and papa. I don't think better butter issue no see no look at the trajectory of the voting pattern now. That is where we are heading towards. And it will play out. The best thing about 2028 because say obi kaso I see the amount na a comedy wa. I was also common now solve a common issue and sana waka so kotra then because what the common kotra sa dem wa obe adebechina we bia no wa to. Ghanaians are now more my resolute say bread and butter issues need there chidi because no and key and it played out very well.
So yen share the political communication of Dr. Bawumia. Clearly, minim se bia akrache for na ya the way amumu sika monsem no any aseɛ hɔ no ya na mo nhyɛ da hu because a comedy Dr. Baumia walanche app a comedy Dr. Baumia walanche credit scorecard a comedy Dr. Baumia E8 a comedy Dr. Baumia my 33 policies. Then the issue of when your platform no or a driver or a mate when first year ne mami. Is it that at this time in 2016 the magic of Nana Akufo-Addo, the strategy of their campaign, their political communication, Oman tiase this time around, no, and also Kahona Emma abysmal performance we are banaze.
Okay, said the Okano. And yes, sir, the policies now any packaging of message Dr. Baumia and okay. But it was okay at the wrong time. And it's saying we were in a time and now food prices were skyrocketing strong and echo for a very long time. From 2021, COVID hit BPIM, as it's a say, and I feel I say stabilize kakra, but it is too little, too late. Into no policies are not a message are not one. It was okay, but the timing wasn't right. So I want to say focus on a shifty, a core bread and butter issues, economy, food prices. Inflation. Sanya manemano. Sebe ya man for who be harom kakra. But ankobanesa because who can ye say ye we not say a common dinipana untiminya.
But according to them, no much say. I mean, untiminka economy any digitalization film. Yes, of course. I mean, for us, you focus no, you mubia ya addition war on green economy no. We perfectly understand. Say. When you invest in green areas now, a boa be a cut down cost, a boa environment, I mean, green HRM, green economy, sustainability, it means say and on a deba. And kebeboa, which of course you said digitalization and then you might be juma. But consciously, all right, Mpacho Mevas here. My uncle Maswa Ababahona, Yunkuti, dear Ekosu Maswa.
You are the man, you are a whole vibe.
You are also the
whole vibe. It's almost as if we've probably been sharing like a compound.
I know, right?
But I'm sure you do know that it didn't come on the back. It wasn't easy.
True.
Serious work has gone into it, but today we are grateful to the Almighty Lord. We thank God for this day. You know, I think someone said something interesting to me today, and that in 2016, Akufo-Addo told us very boldly that he had won by over 1 million votes or close to 1 million votes. In 2020, he won by over a little above 400,000 votes. In 2024, the good Lord has added the 1 million then, the 400,000 then, and today John Mahama has gotten way above the extra 1.4 million votes between the two gentlemen. And then the second thing is also the fact that he kept referring to John Mahama as a one-term president. Today, the good Lord has made it possible to secure a commanding second term for John Dramani Mahama. So for all of us who serve John Mahama, who have worked for him all these years, we are enormously grateful to the people of Ghana. You know, we don't take this lightly. And you can see that today Mr. Mahama is almost extremely calm. It is a very, very humbling experience. Boss, 56% and more. It has never happened before, certainly not in this Fourth Republic. And I think that is phenomenal.
Yeah. Like you rightly said, many have described it as an emphatic, resounding, and a landslide victory.
Commanding.
Okay. A lot of adjectives.
More.
Okay. Tell me, does it put any burden, on him as he prepares to take over the reins of government?
Maxwell, of course. Look, I'm sure all of us realize that there is a certain urgency to the matter. The country is literally bankrupt. We have a public debt of 760 billion. We have an exchange rate of close to 17 cities. And let me tell you something that happened over the last few days. You know what's happening, that the city is actually stabilizing? So change is good. And I know that at the bottom of all our problems is a really, really, really terrible economy. If Mr. Mahama's modesty alone can be brought to bear on the challenges that are facing the city, I have no doubt in my mind that very, very soon things will definitely be improving. Look, I'm really elated, I'm excited, I'm humbled. I thank the good Lord that I am actually part of this historic event, this historic journey, this historic opportunity. And I used to tell Mr. Mahama that all of our enemies are watching. Make no mistake. This is something that we need very, very, very badly. And today, to the glory of God, John Mahama is the man to beat. And Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman making history as Ghana's very first vice president-elect, a female, no less.
He has a 120-day social contract with the Ghanaian people. And we've said quite a number of things when it comes to that. One says that he would scrap the e-levy, the betting tax, quite a number of them, within 120 days. You have talked about the challenges that, is present now. Do you think it's going to be possible within 120 days?
When the good Lord decides to bless you, he gives you all the material things that you need to ensure that that blessing comes to fruition. Today, he has a commanding lead in Parliament, over 180 members of Parliament. So he has beyond the 2/3 that is required. And I am certain that that 2/3 majority will be put to very good use. Don't forget that we have a constitutional review process that is pending. This is a great opportunity. To talk about all the nuisance taxes, this is a great opportunity. To talk about COVID, betting, e-levy, name it. This is a fantastic opportunity. And Ghanaians have told us that the acrimony of the hung parliament is something they don't want to see again. So this is actually a referendum on the failure of Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. And today, Bawumia represents the disgrace that Akufo-Addo has brought to the New Patriotic Party.
Finally, before you go, they say, elders say that when your neighbor's beard is on fire, you get closer to a water source. What lessons is the NDC taking from what has happened?
Maxwell, you know me. I think that all of us who serve JM try as much as possible to emulate him. Humility, respect for those who put you in office, compassion, give people their liberties and their freedoms. Be sure to lead by all means, but show compassion in your leadership. Be moderate, be decorous. Above all, respect the fact that it is a grace of God that brings you and puts you here. So I think that his grace is sufficient for us.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. And thank you to all of you. God bless you. Thank you, sir.
God bless you too. So I just heard from the spokesperson for the John Mahama campaign, Joyce Barr.
Akwaba Kukrumoti Power, your election headquarters, Insura FM Asempa, Adum TV, Adum Online, Insura FM Online. Maxwell, any Bawa Mutari, or no a campaign spokesperson for John Dramani Mahama, and Nana Oka in Semno. Now, one of the key things are Maxwell Ebusano, until John Dramani Mahama Naka 120 days, and we have so. And someone wants to obey one, and you'll be an echitrino. I say 120 days. It will be a winima. Me baba boso kakra or the air coso 120 days. But now me care about the political communication. You know. Of course, obian in digitalization. So to some people they were saying say Bawumia kran kan. You said the world the new movie towards digitalization. WhatsApp and Bawumia na Dubai. You use. And your nyoma bibri or the banks and other places cry now who use the institutions say use. But Dr. Bawumia say me a committee send me this idea and beba. I didn't Ghana for who said now or the year ko we ase for no. Nanka enumum na bi ebeka say or the year ko we ase for idea. Yen support no ye yen to abama ni boom. Nze the be or the ebeko say we ase for. Ah ye say empe ye pe da di.
Yo me da say em say so be hwa.
All right, with you. I Matthias, a dog, fetch me now. Yes, Uncle now. Haruna Dusu Kasa, Yentino.
Ecstasy. Cautious ecstasy. We are very excited, but we know that given the state of the economy, Excellency John Dramani Mahama will inherit, it will be very challenging. And we have a duty to meet the expectations of the Ghanaian public, given the extraordinary votes and confidence they have reposed in him. He has to work to justify it with humility, with credibility, and more importantly, honor. And I appreciate that he is governing for the people. But for me, the declaration of the 2024 presidential outcome manifests one important thing. Thank you. It manifests one important thing, that Ghanaians have said no to impunity, no to corruption, no to hardship and cost of living. So Excellency John Dramani Mahama have to be guarded and guided by it to ensure that he does not tolerate. So for me, zero tolerance for all the wrongs of the MPP must be the hallmark of the new Mahama administration. Zero tolerance for all the wrongs of the new Patriotic Party government of Nana Addo Dankwa and Bawumia. So family.
What do you say are some of the
Family and friends government, zero tolerance for it. Impunity, zero tolerance for it. Arrogance, zero tolerance for it. Corruption, zero tolerance for it. And then he must work to address unemployment, particularly youth unemployment, given the advantage that the 24-hour economy will bring. But his first Herculean task would be to stabilize the economy, and we pray that he would work to stabilize the Ghanaian economy. But we are cautiously excited. We are happy of the outcome of the results, but we are also aware that the task ahead is Herculean. But John Mahama will succeed, given his background and experience. Former president, he will hit the day running, probably even from today, but officially only when he gets a mandate of mid-19th January. He will hit the ground running.
You admit that it's going to be challenging. You say that it's going to be a Herculean task. Within the first 120 days, in fact, within the first 90 days, he said he's going to scrap what he describes as draconian taxes, the e-levy, the betting tax, and all of that. He's promised quite a number of freebies as well. How is he going to be able to do that?
Fortunately, he has absolute control of Parliament. The numbers look quite good, quite comforting, and he can govern with ease. But fidelity to the Ghanaian people, fidelity to the law and the institution of Parliament, he must ensure value for money, and he must exact accountability for the Ghanaian people, because justice emanates from the people. One of the most fundamental things he can leave as a legacy is holding new Patriotic Party government officials accountable and undertaking some minimal constitutional and administrative reforms that strengthens our public institutions to deliver the public good.
Finally, before I go, you talked about holding the new Patriotic Party, the governing new Patriotic Party accountable. Officials accountable.
And his own officers too will be accountable.
Great. I want to find out from you, what are the top 5 standouts probably in this governing NPP government that you want him to tackle first?
This matter of Nkrumah as founding father is important, but that's administrative. And you can't rewrite history. I expect that he will undertake an audit and investigation of COVID. He will undertake an investigation of the borrowing, which institutions were behind it, which persons were behind what I did there, which persons were behind it, the borrowing, and who benefited from the borrowing, and what was the justification. Then a number of projects, no value for money, we expect him to do a re-evaluation of all that.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
You just heard from Haruna Idrisu. Haruna Idrisu is former minority leader. But we have the minority leader himself, Kasiala Tuforsen, here. Let's speak to him. Let's find out from him what he makes of the NDC's victory that many of them are describing as emphatic, resounding. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me, what is the mood like right now?
I feel good. I think it's obvious that the people of Ghana wanted a big change. And for me, I see this as the people's revolution. all said and done, the NDC needs to take serious lessons from the outcome of their results. I see a country that is angry. I see a country where the citizens are demanding change from political actors and nothing more. And the status quo cannot be maintained. Going forward, hopefully beginning January 7th, the NDC will start the implementation of policies that will respond to the call from the citizens. That one I can assure you. His Excellency President John Mahama will address the nation in the next few minutes, and in doing so, he will lay out his plan and vision, and coming out from an election where the people have spoken in a way that you cannot avoid. I think let's wait for his speech, and going forward, subsequently the formation of his government and the things we'll be doing going forward. But I can assure you that we'll be guided. The NDC will certainly be guided.
I've been asking a lot of non-finance persons this question, but I think your finance person is right that I ask you. John Mahama promised a lot of freebies in the run-up to the elections. He talked about scrapping what he described as draconian taxes, the e-levy. He talked about the betting tax, the mixing tax, and many others. A lot of Ghanaians are very expectant of that to happen within his first 120 days in office. The question on the lips of many, how is he going to do that, especially considering that you've all admitted that the country is not in a good place economically. How are you going to be able to finance all of this?
I think it's a promise. It's a promise that he's made. And I can assure you that the first budget of the NDC will scrap the e-levy without a doubt. We are not going back on it. We'll scrap the e-levy. We'll scrap the betting tax. These two taxes will go during our first budget. We are going to present the budget maybe in the first 3 months, and some of these policies will be made known to the public. But I can assure you that we are not going to go back on our promise. His Excellency the President was emphatic, and he said it's going to happen the first 120 days. And there's a reason why he said the first 120 days. Simple put, is the first budget. So that's going to happen. We are not going to run away from that. It's a solemn promise from him to the people of Ghana. We are not running away from that.
Finally, did you expect these number of seats that you have won in Parliament? Did you expect that? I remember I spoke to the president-elect when he went to his hometown, Bole to cast a ballot, and I asked him the number of seats he's hoping the NDC will win. He said 150, something within 150, and possibly about that. How many seats were you eyeing, and what do you make of the number that you've won?
Our research pointed to something in the region of 160, 169. But we were quite conservative and pegged it to about 150. But today we have overwhelming majority. We have 186 confirmed seats, and it can be 188. Going forward, I think it is the will of the people. The ordinary Ghanaian has spoken. The people of Ghana has spoken in a way that is so clear for all of us to abide by. So we have 186 seats in Parliament. I wouldn't say we did not expect it. I was expecting something, as I said, 160, 169. But getting maybe 20 more seats in excess of that, we can only say thank you to the people of Ghana. And we are happy. We waged a successful campaign. We did well in our campaign. We were emphatic. We expressed what we were going to do clearly. Our manifesto was very open and clear, without ambiguity. And obviously, I can tell you for a fact that I think the people of Ghana bought into our manifesto and voted for us.
Finally, it feels like a half glass, half full, half empty kind of situation. You are obviously an optimist looking at, the benefits of that. There are some pessimists also who say that this is likely to turn Parliament into a rubber stamp.
I don't think so. It is up to the new opposition, the MPP, to position themselves and argue their case out. We never had majority. It was somehow a hung parliament with MPP majority of 1. They were successful in pushing some of their things through. But we in the NDC was also able to argue some cases out and got them to back out. So they can. Based on if they decide to do their work well, they will be able to do, not allow the opposition, the government to, get everything to go through just like that. So I wouldn't say that it's going to be a rubber stamp parliament. But I can only say that the people of Ghana has given the NDC a majority to be able to reset the country. Ghana needs an urgent research. The status quo cannot continue. That is why we have this overwhelming majority with a big mandate. It is up to the NDC to use this majority well to benefit the people of Ghana. Nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you for talking to us. So we just had Minority Leader Castle Atuforsen there speaking to us. But in the last 30 minutes, we've had quite a number of people joining us here. Still on the days, you can see former Deputy Chief of Staff Valerie Sawyer there. You can see Kwame Agboja also there on the days. Former Finance Minister Seth Stekpa is also here. General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete, is also here. But I've seen Seth Stekpa, former Finance Minister Seth Stekpa. Let's talk to him. Sir, you're welcome to Joy News. Yeah. Tell me, what's the mood like for you, Mr. Stekpa?
Oh, it's quite ecstatic. I think it's a joyful mood here, and I believe that it is understandable. But there is, for those of us with our background, we also know the task ahead, the difficulty ahead. But nonetheless, I believe that there is an overwhelming, confidence reposed, in the president-elect, former President Mahama. Yes.
As a former finance minister, I think it's also right for me to ask you this. The main issue that played out in this election, obviously, was about the economy and what people were feeling, in their pockets. John Mahama, once again, I've been asking this question over and over and again, but I still want to ask you. John Mahama has promised a lot of freebies. First-year students in our universities are not going to pay fees. He's promised to scrap a lot of taxes. You've been a former finance minister. Don't you get worried when you hear some of these things? Are you not scared about what is likely, to happen, especially when you admit that the economy is not in a better place?
There is a certain rationality behind the measures which are misunderstood. And let me explain the taxes. Up to 2016, we had levies which were brought in anytime we had to do austerity, and they were taken out. Secondly, when the value-added tax was introduced, about 18 taxes were subsumed, cancelled, and subsumed in a VAT. This included GETS fund. Actually, the GETS fund and the NHIL, which became straight levies, were part of the VAT. Now, the flaw in reintroducing many of these taxes is that you make it difficult for the tax regime to be administered, and you make it difficult for taxpayers to comply with the tax because it becomes very complex. If you have to account for 23 different, taxes, as His Excellency counted during the campaign. What we are talking about is going back to the rationalization of the 1980s and 90s under the SAP-ERP and making sure that the tax is dependent on the 4 pillars, which are income tax, VAT, tariffs or customs duty, and excise duty. These are the pillars of the tax regime. And if I may inform you that the tax to GDP ratio until 2023, when we entered the fund program, had been stagnant since 2015. That was the highest. And it tells you, therefore, that these levies and others that were introduced have rather made the tax regime less buoyant. Less buoyant in the sense that, remember that from 2017, we were supposed to expand the economy better and raise more taxes with 3 additional oil fields. Now, when it comes to the other measures, remember that it is this administration that also destroyed the buffers that were built to make the economy resilient. To your last question, now there is a rationalization, I'm using the word, advisedly, that is to take place with elementary, secondary, tertiary education in this country, right? Remember that our approach with a progressively free education was to populate the country with day schools, as is done in the advanced countries, where you debondize as much as possible, of course over a transitional period. Therefore, you will see that if you expanded day schools into the communities, as Nkrumah did, remember, with his private schools, with his secondary schools, which of course had boarding, you will be reducing the cost of implementation of education. And it is with these savings that you are able, as the president explained, to help poor kids. What's the point in going to secondary school if you cannot, in the first year, enter tertiary until you are able to move on to the student.
Okay, so for the ordinary Joe on the streets of Accra and other parts of the country, I'm sure the question obviously on your minds right now is it possible? Is it feasible? Is it going to happen? All those taxes that John Mahama promised is going to scrap within his first 1 and 2 years.
I just told you. No, there were two groups of taxes. There were, to use the word, nuisance taxes that were to go in 120 days. The other ones will be phased out. Remember, we are also in a fund program, and we have to be sure. If you do it precipitously, you will end up, not having the. So there's a rationalization. There is a timetable for the immediate ones and then the other one. But let me also point out.
So it's going to happen.
Yes, it has to happen because it happened before, right? And for the ordinary man who is saying, how can you achieve this? Let us remind them that deficit was 6.1 under Mahama before it got to 15%. Debt was 57% under Mahama before it got, to over 100% with the contingency funds. Inflation was lower. Take all the indices, right? And therefore, what we are saying is that they were not the best, the ideal that we wanted to get to, but taking them back to that is something that was done, that was achievable.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You just had former Finance Minister Seth Tekpe there saying it is possible. It is possible to scrap some of the draconian taxes, some of the taxes described by John Mahama as draconian. We have also here with us right now the General Secretary of the NDC, Fifi Kwete. Let's speak to him. Mr. Kwete, we are live on Joy News.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, this time, the 2024 campaign, the NDC campaign, we saw a lot of retail politics. The campaign was decentralized, where we had the top brass of the party in different groups campaigning all across in different regions. Did this reflect in the numbers that you saw, in the number of votes that you saw?
Yeah, let me begin by first thanking the people of Ghana, and I'm sure my flag bearer will be doing that very appropriately very soon. But let me, as General Secretary of the party, express deep gratitude to the people of Ghana. As the General Secretary, I'm fully aware that this victory is not just a victory it's not just about the NDC. It's the popular will of the people. It's the voice of the people. And I want to, on behalf of the party, pledge that we will remain conscious of that and remain grounded every step of the way, and ensuring that we do what is right by Ghana. It's not a victory for NDC per se. even though, of course, NDC is in the forefront of it, it's a victory above all for the people of Ghana, and we want to remain conscious of that. And in light of that, to also apologize for some of the, should I call it, unbridled jubilation that happened in some quarters, where some of our people have tended to take the law into their hand, and to simply, tell them that we are quickly coming to terms with that and letting them appreciate that it is about Ghana, it's not just about the party. Yeah, about the strategy, I would say we needed to appreciate that in order to win, we needed to go just beyond talking to our own people. Just preaching to the same choir does not really bring exactly what we expect. So we wanted to reach Ghana in as much as we can. I would think that really has worked a lot. And the message has gone round, resonated, and the results has been overwhelming, way beyond our expectation.
What lessons is the NDC picking from what has happened, from this resounding victory? Obviously, I'm sure you're also picking some lessons from the camp of your opponent.
Yeah, the lesson is simple. And, this party was a party that actually was always founded on a certain clarion call. And that clarion call has always been that power belongs to the people. That's who we have always been. Over time, as a result of what I call the vicissitudes of life, the party own values have kind of declined a bit. But, for quite a bit now, some of us have tried to instill back that consciousness that we need to reconnect back to the very popular will of the people. And the lesson is simple, that any party that does not understand that power belongs to the people and only they decide who leads, that party clearly will face the tsunami that MPP faced. So it's our responsibility to constantly retrace our path back to the original quintessential values of our party, which is about anchoring everything we do on the will of the people, showing them the respect, appreciating that they are not fools, they know what is right, listening to them, and being able to tell the truth. Even when we are wrong, being humble enough to accept that we are wrong in order to be able to do what is right. That's a lesson. And MPP unfortunately felt that the politics of deception, the politics of arrogance, the condescending politics that makes you want to lie to people thinking that they are not smart, you can lie to them, you can deceive them, you can gaslight them. At the end of the day, they've come to know that you can fool all the people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And the people of Ghana have reacted with what I call volcanic eruption, very similar to the kind of volcanic eruption we've had in the past. And I'm hoping to God that for the sake of our democracy, MPP will learn its lesson very, very seriously. NDC, of course, will be guarded, and the country becomes the better if all the key political parties appreciate the need for that humility and appreciate that ultimately, even though power comes from above, power is always deposited in the masses and the people of Ghana.
Thank you for talking.
It's a pleasure.
You just had a general secretary for the NDC. Fifi have equated there. But still on the days, you can see the top brass of the party of the NDC. Up there, you can see former Chief of Staff Julius Debra interacting right now with former Chairman of the NDC, Samuel Ofosu Ampofo. Seated closely to them is Professor Joshua Alabi, who was the chairman for the John Mahama campaign. Behind them, you can see Edward Omadebuama, director of He's there with the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia. Also there, it's Valerie Sawyer. We're interacting with Dr. Omadebuama shortly. They're still waiting for the arrival of the President-elect John Mahama.
It's a day full of excitement. So at this stage, you can dance. As we wait for our father, the President-elect, to get here.
We'll also interact. Let's show you what is happening here. So that's what you see on the days. But also, party supporters gathered here, waving flags, waiting for the arrival of John Mahama. Dr. Welcome before you. What's the feeling like for you right now?
It's a good feeling. Winning this election in such a manner. Landslide. This is what Obama called shellacking. Landslide victory. And for us, it's a demonstration that the people of Ghana cannot get destroyed with. That our democracy must be sustained. That when officials become arrogant, the people of Ghana will teach you a lesson. The MPP government became just too arrogant. Let's face it, you take the pensions of people, you take their bonds, and when they cry, you refuse to listen, sending many of them to their graves. And as we speak today, many of them are still struggling to be able to take care of their medical bills. This is something that an NDC administration would never contemplate implementing. Again, until this government came into being, everyone thought in this country that bonds were safe. This government has proven that bonds are not safe. President Mahama will ensure financial stability. President Mahama will ensure that there are well-sustaining and well-paying jobs in our country. President Mahama has a strong message for the MPP. Just as he and his appointees stayed in the country when we left office in 2009, the MPP stayed in Ghana so that they will be able to account for their stewardship. We stayed in the country and accounted for our stewardship. We do not expect anything less from them. Last but not least, President Mahama is promising a very, very lean government. A government that will not exceed more than 60 ministers, and is very, very committed to it. That his government will not exceed more than 60 ministers. He is also emphatic that he will abolish ex-gratia. These and many other things are things that President Mahama is going to provide to the true people of Ghana and treat Ghanaians with utmost respect.
Thank you for talking to us. We just had Dr. Edward Omadebuama, Director of Elections and IT for the NDC. Professor Joshua Allah, the chairman of the 2024 John Mahama campaign, dancing. He's up on his feet dancing. Let's speak to him. Never seen him in this mood before. On the campaign trail, I never saw him smiling or anything. Prop, we are live on Join You. Tell me, what's the mood like for you?
Yeah?
What's the mood like for you right now? The mood for you?
Oh, I'm very happy. I'm very happy because in the Bible they said, "Let my people go." You see? So we are going. We have won the election. We have won the election for the good people of this country. We have won the election to reset this country. We have won this election to build the Ghana we want. You follow? We have a leader who is not going to tell them lies. He is going to organize a series of meetings with the good people of this country to define the really good path and to open up the economy to everybody. Then collectively, we understand the real issue and move along together. So the one good thing about the good leader is to carry the people along. And that comes from an effective communication, respect and understanding. And that's how we're going to rebuild this economy.
Finally, what strategies did you deploy to cause this political tsunami?
We call it the multi-system. The multi-system strategy.
Okay.
You see, when we lost the 2020 election, we realized that 2024 will be a done deal for us. Because with all what they did, suppress voter registration, pump a lot of money into the system, we put them from 169 to 137, right? And we reduced the gap. You follow? So it was clear that with all what they did, we can bring them down. We even believe we won, but The court said no. So we have to look at the new strategy. So we did branch audits, especially in Ashanti Nation. Because in 2020 we had some polling stations where we had 9 branches, 9 executives, but we scored 0 there. So it meant that they were not our people. So we did branch audits. For example, I went to Bosumi Fremu from every polling station. I went to Kwabri East, every polling station. I went to Sobin, every polling station. Other colleagues did the same. Then we got to know the nature. After that, we divided Ashanti region into 5 regions. Yeah, 5. 47 constituencies, 5 regions, giving respect to every region as a full region. And attention. You follow? Then after that, we spread out. The flag bearer took a team. The running mate took a team. The national chairman took a team. Then all these were supported by the national youth organizer and a team, the national organizer and a team, and with other small teams. So we spread out. In fact, we didn't allow them breathing space. So we are not surprised at the result. We worked for it, and we have it.
Thank you for talking to us. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
We just heard from Professor Joshua Alabi, chairman for the John Mahama campaign. Let's see if we can talk to Mr. Julius Debra. He rarely speaks. Let's see if today he will talk to us. Mr. Debra, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
I am particularly excited that we get a chance to speak to you because you rarely speak.
Well, I felt like speaking today because, the joy of having the mandate and being able to make things happen is what is resonating with me. I'm so excited about President Mahama's new direction. And believe you me, campaigning is over, rhetorics are over, and we are going to deliver. When I say we are going to deliver, I mean what I'm saying. And that's what is making me so happy, because we are getting the opportunity, the people's mandate, to prove the point, to create the job, to bring up the industries, and to expand our agro-processing. That is the new key. I can bet on it.
You are former chief of staff, and John Mahama has promised that the number of ministers and deputy ministers will not exceed 60. Is that possible?
It's highly possible. I tell you what, even the United States, they are not beyond 19. What needs to happen are people who will make things happen. It's not necessarily about the title, it's not necessarily about the post. Of course, it's prestigious, but what he intends doing is to deliver. This government is going to be run like a task force, where we set the task and get a goal, target, and achieve it. And believe you me, with a limited number of seats, we will definitely follow it and make it work. You'll be so impressed.
Thank you for talking to us. Yeah. I told you, this is your election headquarters. We definitely got a rare interview with the former chief of staff, Julius Debra. He rarely speaks, like I mentioned. And he just spoke to us. The president-elect, John Mahama, has just arrived here. You can hear the sirens.
The moment we've been waiting for is here.
You can hear the sirens. The president-elect, John Mahama,
of the Republic of Ghana,
has just arrived here at his campaign office in Cantonment.
The nation builder is here.
I don't think you can hear the sirens blaring, but we can hear it from where we are. And now they are clearing the barricades to make way for him. This is the moment a lot of NDC members have been waiting for. The inner perimeter is going to be cleared to make way for him. John Mahama on the campaign trail said he saw victory on the horizon. I remember at an event at the Parliamentary University of Science and Technology. It was a meeting and interaction with municipals and district demands to do your work. He said he was seeing victory on the horizon. He said he was able to tell because is on the horizon. There will be signs. And for this election,
Security, those behind this.
he said he saw the sign.
Security.
Mobile phones, all mobile phones up now.
Those standing must leave now.
The steady stream of supporters we saw entering these premises. Have metamorphosed into a sea of jubilant NDC supporters, all clad in white, symbolizing the victory that they've waited and prayed for. It's a momentous occasion for many of them, and they obviously have to capture the moment. The mobile phones out, a lot of them have the mobile phones out, ready to capture the president-elect. John Mahama should be arriving shortly. Now the convoy is making its way here.
His Excellency is here. The President-elect of the good people of Ghana. Oh, what a day! What a day! What a day the Lord has made. And may the heavens rescue this land. We need a man with vision to lead. John Mahama is the man for us. Oh, Ghana needs a change. I am sorry and red, Ladies and gentlemen, shall we all remain standing? Shall we rise to our feet? His Excellency is here, accompanied by the Vice President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Please remain standing.
President-elect John Mahama is here. Soon he will be stepping out. it off. Let me just.
John Mahama is the man for us. It's a change. Our mother is in the house. The first female vice president-elect, Professor Nana Jane Obokwajima. Some of you will have to clear off so that His Excellency can step down. President-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is here with us. Please, shall we all rise to our feet as he makes his way to the high table. We need a man with vision to lead. John Mahama is the...
All right, Akwa Krumoti Power, your election headquarters near John Dramani Mahama, the campaign office. As they say, enche now Baba Bekasa, and now who say the short name Maxwell Agbaba Ewohoa. Now on a Dudona Echichunkomo, very emotional moment. Now on a former ministers, especially Secretary, when him say Pape, no a finance minister, na Pape. And this is for crying a problem. There's one more crying as you can wait when you be there. What this why a straight ankaza. I do baby not as a domuye, they then be before you can overreact and as I don't know me and the dog. Because Papa was so straight, say, oh, my, or Jessica Biguho. Some, I mean, fun the be said be a bit me, unfortunately, and at a far soon. But then, Uti Haruna Idruswa. He talks about the fact that your baby also muhim COVID ne boru you know. Aside that, no so can be said no to impunity, no to corruption, no to friends and families, arrogance, corruption, unemployment, or can want them and stabilizing the economy. But I mean, utie all kanini na very similar to politicians that omu wechira omu hunu fefefe oba. They were cancer one year, now Obaba. Would we see a different NDC, different John Mahama?
We have to hope so. Because they are capable, some were Bemua, as no Subano, and as so many are Bemuswa, as no Subano Sonko. Into no, Sisiana war Canada, yen hope say, Sana Beban. Every say, Rajo Mahama wa be cry. Some time ago, na yen to be an Sanya and never be no wa bem. What was our impunity never hokakra. And now, Akuvado so ye who, and Numpur Kahuna Bufuna say. Into no say, I see a shan de be a bar. I was say Bama not just MPP, but even NDC as is here or mobile bemono. If we say ABS pen. And I say Ghana for so any ati baby. You know, say okay say old sign and I say you are sidelining the ordinary Ghanaian, you pay a price. Then yeah, NPP pays a price. No, you know, that attitude, any posturing. Let me say this time round.
But then the more sasa because amazingly, so which 2008, 2012, the push and perception. Nanko for war, I want to know for doing say, hey, papa dear. But 2016 now say, what bufform, sir, suppose arrogance, no. Nanko for to say, I feel John Mahama mum no swafa, Ethiopia, Commissioner General, I am Pierre B, Nen Sembi, na Nanko for doing, Yura Mahama say, Mudia Monsomeshe, Miss Remo, and I was a Cassano Abba form. Now, after Nana Kufa, I feel do baby, Quabre for Quayos, Montumamia, the minimum Pamacho. And then the mats had the any basso.
I think, say, power, say, too many bedi Muslim sana. I say power corrupts, and it corrupts absolutely. Into say too many bedi Muslim sana, and after Omure fee, maybe on free buy. The banis ha, I was say, go in China, or say, if you had a buy. If you go for no buy, na baby, I don't know. When we cast ivory tower, make a house, and it was say me are accountable to the people. Into no say Banessa was say Omokai, so man kai the day of reckoning, beba. And then near who Nancy, say a actual MP.
And to say a train, the frustration I know me woman ye. In the end, trains are 4 years. It appears I say, I didn't know Koso, but I was a train 4 years answer.
No, it is a train 4 years. Isiano, I'm saying, na me monitor near Idrisu Ekano. Isiano, akoye hubi abeto omamwa bemu. Say,
Mr. Fasa, Temina, Yanko campaign office, when Yanko monitor the Ekoso, or Hokukrumoti Power election headquarters.
Hereby acknowledged. All elected members of Parliament on the ticket of the great NDC, we acknowledge your presence. At this stage, we are going to start our program. And so I'll crave your indulgence to be decorous so that we can begin. And to set the ball rolling is a man who has been very instrumental in the campaign leading to the victory we are celebrating today. Our national chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, with a rousing round of applause, welcome to the microphone our national chairman, Honorable Johnson Asiedun Ketia, to give us brief remarks. No, I can't hear your shouts. I can't hear your applause. General Mosquito is coming. This man went to all the 276 constituencies of Ghana. He went to over 1,000 communities. He's our national chairman, and we are proud of him. Another round of applause for him as he climbed the stage. Thank you. Shall we all remain silent now?
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, the President-elect, President John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, the Vice President-elect, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, all protocols duly observed. I believe that today is the day of President John Dramani Mahama. And there will be no space for long speeches at all. So I've just come here to thank all of you and thank the foot soldiers of this party, the branch executives of the party, the constituency executives of the party, regional executives of the party, and the national executives of the party. And by extension, to all previous executives of the National Democratic Congress. As I said in Medina some 3 days ago, I believe that the party has never seen this level of total mobilization of its rank and file to fight and achieve a purpose. And at long last, the battle has ended. And the great elephant has been slaughtered mercilessly. But as we enjoy the victory, I want to specially mention for special commendation the technical staff of our headquarters who managed this election very, very successfully. I mean the directors of elections, the directors of IT, and all other persons who played a role in managing this election. Let me advise that we should be modest in our celebrations, because I can almost feel the weight of responsibility on our shoulders. Ghanaians have given us this mandate to accomplish the task of national reconstruction. And so nobody should tell us the weight of responsibility that we have. We cannot afford to disappoint them. So in the coming weeks, let us try and cut short our celebrations and begin planning seriously how to rescue our dear country. I thank you very much, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make it great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you, General. A round of applause. A round of applause for the National Chairman. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Distinguished friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Akatamansonians, it is now time for us to hear from our mother, a woman of substance, a woman of valor, the pride of the Ghanaian woman, a woman of great accomplishments, the first female vice president-elect of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency, Professor Nana J. Opoku Agyeman. Let me hear your shout. Let me hear your shout. The women here, let me hear your shout. It's a great day for Ghanaian women. A great day for Ghanaian women. Yes. Yes. Our mother is here. Give it up to our mother again, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman.
What an interesting journey it has been. And you know, nobody sets out on a journey by herself or even by himself. It has been a very, very interesting one. And I want to thank all of you, those who are here, those who are not here. I want to thank all of them for their good wishes, for their prayers, for their contributions in many, many ways, and for bringing all of us to this site. All I have to say is thank you very much. Thank you very much for everything you have done. And whatever you did, as our chairman has said, the fun is over, the work is about to begin. And as we journey together, we need to realize that we have to move forward also together. Again, I want to thank you. My nomination has many, many implications. You know, normally, no one even expects you to err in any way. If this will happen, and we know it will happen, it means all of us are on board. The victory is for all of us, but especially for our daughters, for our youth, for our women. Sorry I have to appear in a mask because I have a very, very bad cold. But the cold will disappear too. I know this is a big responsibility, and I don't intend to travel this journey by myself. You are all part of it. NDC is an inclusive party, and we are demonstrating it in many ways. My job was to have opened the door, and it doesn't end there. Actually, that is where the work began. I will hold the door open. The method of opening the door, the method of holding the door open, so others wish to travel that door, is what I'm implying. It is not a self-aggrandizing position. It is a position that empowers others. This country is not going to be built only by half the gender. They know very well, whether we are in the public space or not, the roles we play. And we have accepted as NDC to facilitate the process. I'm counting on all of you, that you all come along, you all work hard in your various spaces, and finally, that we put smiles on people who either have no access or who are not very respected. I thank you again and again, and I know, thank you for the comments. I wish blessings on our country. I wish blessings on our children, those who are here and those yet to be born. I wish blessings on those who are here and their future. And I believe that the meaning of blessing is to be good to another person. Thank you very, very much.
You can do better than that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shall we all remain silent at this stage? We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. We've gotten to the moment we've all been waiting for. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has served this nation throughout his life. A man who served as president of the Republic of Ghana between 2012 and 2016. He was voted out, and some said he could not be president again. Some even mocked him and said he is the only person to have become a one-term president. But ladies and gentlemen, today, the Lord who crowned kings has given him the presidency again. And the stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. It is the doing of the Lord, and it is marvelous in our sight. We call him the nation builder, and this nation builder will lead all of us to build the Ghana we want together. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation and shouts of joy, make welcome to the microphone our father, the flag bearer, and the leader of the great NDC, the president-elect of the people of Ghana, the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. And by the grace of God, he will be sworn in as the 6th president of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, let me see your hand. His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, the 6th President of the Republic of Ghana incoming. Our unity. And His Excellency is accompanied by the incoming First Lady, our Mother, Her Excellency, Latina Mahama.
Thank you. Thank you. Our best days are ahead of us. My brothers and sisters, a while ago, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Madame Jean Mensah, declared me the winner of the 2024 presidential election. I give thanks and praise to the Almighty God, because this successful outcome can only be the doing of the Lord. I'd like to thank the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for his statesmanship in conceding the election long before the declaration of the results by the Electoral Commission. This concession largely diffused the tensions that are characteristic of high-stakes elections such as this. I also just received a call from His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He graciously extended his congratulations to me, and we had the opportunity to discuss matters related to the Joint Transitional Team. We agreed on an early inauguration of the Joint Transitional Team as early as Wednesday, the 11th of December. I conveyed my sincerest regards to him and expressed my readiness for us to work together to ensure a smooth transition in the best interest of the Ghanaian people. The results of this election, as declared today by the Electoral Commissioner, show that the National Democratic Congress, with me, John Dramani Mahama, as leader, has just chalked one of the most emphatic victories in the electoral history of the Fourth Republic. We have therefore been bestowed with a very outstanding mandate by the good people of Ghana. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive such an overwhelming endorsement from the Ghanaian people. And I wish to thank all who made this possible by going out to vote for me. I thank all Ghanaians, both at home and abroad, for your continued belief in our democracy, despite the severe crisis our nation is going through. I also congratulate our parliamentary candidates who have also swept the electoral landscape with a very resounding victory. I have a legion of thanks to give for this emphatic electoral success. And let me begin again by thanking the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, for protecting and preserving us through this whole campaign period. And to paraphrase the psalmist, I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me Obviously, you are all very acquainted with this Bible verse. I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And for anointing my head with oil. And making my cup run over. I next have to give my thanks to my wife, Lodina, and my family, my children, my siblings, and all my extended family for standing by me through all these difficult times when victory and success appeared elusive and out of sight. On these gloomy occasions, you have all come through and offered me the encouragement to keep soldiering on. I'd like to thank the Vice President-elect, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, for being an exemplary and inspirational running mate. Nana, your decency, your humility, and your sense of responsibility added so much to this campaign. The eyes of every young girl and woman, not only in Ghana, but in nations across this continent and the world, are going to be on you from today. And as you said, you have not only opened the door, but you're going to keep the door open for many other women. Your name has become synonymous with breaking boundaries. And like I said, you have opened the door of opportunity for many of our female citizens. Because of you, the people of Ghana can today celebrate the fact that we have made history by electing our first woman as Vice President. I must also thank my very loyal and dedicated staff who have been with me over the last 8 years in opposition for the sacrifice and hard work they have put into this endeavor. To my campaign team members, to our party agents, and the countless volunteers who spent uncountable hours day and night working to secure this victory, I cannot thank you enough. To our Council of Elders, the gallant leadership of the National Democratic Congress, led by Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia, our able General Secretary, Fifi Fiavikwete, and our general membership, I'm deeply grateful for your dedication and commitment to this cause and your willingness to give everything to ensure success in this election. To all the religious leaders who prayed for me, and there are too many to mention, at the appropriate time I'll acknowledge them individually. To all the religious leaders who prayed for me, to all the prophets who prophesied my victory, to all the civil society organizations and professional groups we consulted in building our message, to all our traditional leaders who warmly received me in your palaces during the campaign, to all our security personnel across the country, and to the media, to you all, I say a big thank you. To Mrs. Jean Mensah and her staff of the Electoral Commission, the IGP and his Election Security Task Force, our international observers, and all who have contributed to a very successful election, I convey to you the warmest wishes of a grateful nation. For all its historic undertones, this mandate represents many things for all political actors and those who seek to lead our nation. It shows that the Ghanaian people have little tolerance for bad governance, particularly of the sort witnessed in the last 8 years, and that they are willing to take decisive action at critical moments when it matters most. These 8 years have witnessed some of the darkest periods of our governance. The crisis our beloved country has been through these last several years have left a scar on our national psyche, which may take some time to erase. This mandate also serves as a constant reminder of what fate awaits us if we fail to meet the aspirations of our people and govern with arrogance. My brothers and sisters, there is much to do to salvage our country and reset it. It would have to start with a reset of the relationship between citizens and elected officials. We must never forget that the people of Ghana have chosen us to represent their wishes and their best interests. It is the reason we would be initiating important governance reforms and sometimes initiate severe measures in the next 4 years to reset our nation and bring it back on track as the Black Star of Africa. The journey is not going to be easy, my brothers and sisters, because the outgoing government has plunged our dear nation into an abyss. However, we are determined to work together with you to build the Ghana we want. And I am certain that we shall win the battle. We intend to work together to restore the shattered confidence in our politics and governance system. This election and its outcome represents an opportunity for a new beginning as we can begin to write a new chapter of our collective story. We need to consciously set the tone for the new direction in which we'll be traveling. My brothers and sisters, I want those words, my brothers and sisters, to be a reminder to all of you, a reminder to me, and to every individual who has just been elected or re-elected, that no matter what office you hold, no matter what your political affiliation is or has been in the past, the one thing we share in common is the nation Ghana. And it is that we want a much better Ghana. We want a Ghana that works for everybody and not just a few people. We want a Ghana that considers the well-being of all her citizens and affords them each the ability to live a life of dignity, a life of limitless opportunity. My brothers and sisters, from the Kaya Yo to the managing director, to the market women, the bankers, the teachers, security personnel, nurses, doctors, the pastors, the drivers, the tailors and seamstresses, we are all essential to the functioning and forward motion of this country. We, the people of this soil, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, are in fact our nation's greatest resource. This country, this land, is not for one person, or for one family, or for one tribe or ethnic group. This country, this beautiful, resilient, and resource-rich country that we so love, Ghana, is for all of us. This is our home, but it is not enough to just be born here and to die here. We must also be able to live here with satisfaction. We must be able to love, to dream, to laugh, to eat and dance and drum and share all aspects of our culture that was handed to us by our ancestors. And to do that, we must create sustainable and well-paying jobs through the 24-hour economy initiative. Our most basic needs must be met. Affordable housing and health care, food and clean water, safe work and fair wages. My brothers and sisters, it is with tremendous humility that I accept this clear mandate that you, the good people of Ghana, have given me to lead this great nation as your next president. Every vote that was cast in this election carried the same weight. Every vote also carried a hope in the future of our country. I promise you that I will assemble and lead a government that will carry the weight of those hopes and dreams, whether you voted for me or not, because every victory is a victory for the people, all of the people. Each time we have free and fair elections and then conduct a smooth transfer of power, it reaffirms that our history of leadership and trailblazing was not an aberration. It is not by accident that we were the first nation in Black Africa to win our independence from colonial rule. It is not by accident that the first black person to serve as UN Secretary General, the late Kofi Annan, was a Ghanaian. It is not by accident that so many Ghanaians out there in the world are blazing new trails and being recognized as leaders in their industry. Despite being a relatively small nation, Ghana has been and will continue to be a mighty force on the world stage. We're a proud people and have every reason to be. When Ghana rises, we all stand tall with her, and Africa rises with us too. Last but certainly not the least, I'd like to thank you, the good people of Ghana, for this opportunity once more. I know that many of you are feeling frustrated and angry, but I ask you today, please do not give in to negativity and pessimism. There have been reports of acts of vandalism at some government facilities and installations. I urge you not to vent your frustration in criminal enterprise. We must channel our anger and frustration into the positive enterprise of resetting and rebuilding our nation. Let us be brief in our celebration, for the weight of office will be an onerous one. Expectations of Ghanaians are very high, and we cannot afford to fail them. Let us maintain and even magnify this joy and positivity that we feel. We have arrived at this moment because so many of you believed that change was possible. And now we know that not only is change possible, but it is also already in process. Let us continue to believe that we are already moving towards the Ghana we want, the Ghana of our hopes and dreams. And in this Ghana where we have turned a new chapter and are setting a new tone, our best days are not behind us. My brothers and sisters, our best days are ahead of us. Forward ever, backwards never. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless our homeland Ghana. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Give it up, give it up, give it up to His Excellency. One love, one love, one love.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying. One love. Hear the children crying. One heart. Saying, give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Saying, let's get together and feel alright.
All right, Siema Akwaba Kokrumuti Power, your election headquarters. John Dramani Mahama, President-elect of the Republic of Ghana, with 6,328,397, representing 56.55%, a gap of 1.671093, that is 1,671,093 gap, 1.6, unprecedented. Ebin see that. Your fourth Republican, Ebin see that. Now, Nyoma na Okaya ne ye brofo kakra nti ma me mbɔ ne tɔfa na afɛ me ne Dr. Hezwa entry and come on. Say our best days are ahead of us. Then say nyoma papa no ewe nim afekra na yebehu nyoma papa. Afen so ochre say when ya call and answer when you free na na dodan kwa kufu ado ha. O ma ne tiri nkwa a o madi nkonwa nti we die o se kra o nche 11 December ye Wednesday 11 December ye next week. Na che say transition ni kire say on say aban bi e ba okohia de o ho no no wa kire say aha na wo beda aha na office wo aha na nkrata wo sa anyoma ni nyina no a processor ni nyina ofem afen so na nyame ya adomo da Ghana fo asese yenya first female vice president obebie kwan amadodo na hu say se me nso me ya metimi aye amana yi oda Dr. Bawumia nso ase se wa kire se odoman no o hye ne ma oye yi ya nanka tension on se duru se ya as opposition media tum baby wo ho a media tum minyi tum na akofa ntokwa Dr. Bawumia de in fact no can say no na aboto bi aboto because the way we see here in tentem no I say me person marry magia tum na en wano no na okabi be very striking. John Dramani Mahama say there was so far say Ghanaians have little tolerance for bad governance. Say baby Ghana for dru no ye ni bre say ebra o betra say akasa say wo ye nyoma sebi nyoma emfa kwam nyoma tantan abanfo there be say Ghana ni akoma no akoma ni bi ni ho ye ni sa time no na o say adisua wo sa de ni mu ne say sa de we nya adisua ma ono ene obi a wetwa ho asia say wo ye obi a ahomaso he talked about that or say what fate awaits us if we govern with arrogance sienso ye ba ne be kokoti ahomaso de ebesi no ye de ya ankasa ye nsempa afenso or say I was say this severe measures necessary say odi nyoma bi wo ho a emu odin on say opeso ye discipline enche kire say John Dramani Mahama nsem no can expect say ye benya a disciplined headmaster ate say okuta na ba ebe make sure say Ghana aye Ghana ba kono nso say o say ye ma wutumi a the focus must be Ghana Ghana first o say sa na focus ne e wo say oye de wuye bia no nso e wo say wu say oye aboa Ghana na tie ha o say ade na adwuma no nso ebeye no enye adwuma a eye ankrankra na say abusuanfo asem bia eye de eboa obi ampacho tie ni ye ahonhu hiam because make oti bibi sesi John Dramani Mahama say tie pacho tie ni ye o say adwuma no mbeye no enye nipa ko ketua bi na mom de ebeboa oman ni nyina muntie enye one person enye tribe bi enye obi abusua bi eye Ghana fo nyina eno say monso a moye ekitafo no momma mabufuo no emrafo mamukosese bibia mo wabufuo bi a mommoaye na Ghana entimi enkonenim na asema o kan na come to Doc John Dramani Mahama say sade we aye kan enye nipa ketwa bi na ebedi yi eye Ghana obesom Ghana mamefa nko 2016 Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ne manifesto de okachire Ghana for or say our nation is in crisis. John Mahama nso aka crisis wa ha. A crisis created and sustained by mismanagement, incompetence and corruption of the Mahama-led NDC government. Economic conditions are worsening day by day and there is so much suffering in the land. Okay, crisis waha. Ahochire 8 years here, Ghana for ahochire waka wansem. Or say, but Ghana does not have to be like this. Ghana deserves the best. Nana Akufo-Addo no. Or say the Mahama na ye no. Nye sane was a Ghana ye. Ghana was say timi ko enim yie. Aha na yem de no. Or say, I have dedicated my life as Nana Akufo-Addo to public service to change Ghana for good. But the Mwesu Makoma boy for dear say, Mr. Ghana, Amana Yakonopa. As president, with the help of the Almighty God, Tiha, I will be committed to a different kind of government, one that governs in the national interest and not for private gain. Suma mebe sumne ye de ebeboa oman no nemum enye onwa ni botom ene abusuafo kakra bi. 2016 omu manifesto na Akufo-Addo nsem okan. Utie John Dramani Mahama obobo dwumakuo bi, obo farmers, no about drivers, no about hwan no nasefo nyina. Na Akufo-Addo in 2016 their manifesto or say, as I travel the country over the years, I see the pain and sacrifices made by ordinary Ghanaians every day, by the farmer who struggles to feed his family and send his children to school, by the mother of the sick child who has to walk miles on the dusty road to the clinic in Futrum Nobefa, by the young man and woman who through no fault of their own have had to drop out of school and cannot find a way of life difficulties. Young man, by the young man, because of financial circumstances at home, had never had the opportunity to go to school and is now sleeping rough on the streets of Accra. By the youth who have worked hard at school or the university but still cannot find a job when they leave, by the husband with a family of 4 who lost his job 2 years ago because his employers had to close down the business due to doom so and the high cost of operations. By the young woman whose wages can barely cover her transport fares to and from work and a share of the 1 bedroom she shares with her friends. Young woman by the kayaye who have had no opportunity or shelter and are forced to sleep on the street of our cities. In fact, okay, calm, Yoma Bibri. Also, my vision for Ghana is of optimistic, self-confidence and prosperous nation with a strong and thriving democratic society in which mutual trust and economic opportunities exist for all, irrespective of their background. I will champion your cause, Tio Nana Akufo-Addo. I say, I will be a president for all Ghanaians, whatever your region, your tribe, your gender, your status or religion, I will serve you all. I will champion your cause with the help of the Almighty God. And every day I wake up as president, my first and only consideration will be what is best for the country we all love and what will improve the lives of our people. Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo. Shebrofui, Doc, Nede. Ni a boy trinko, ni a boy and sem say or minus is because John Mahama say no, tie de na Akufo-Addo beye. Does it resonate with the speech of John Dramani Mahama, giving us hope, telling us about the crisis and the fact that Obesum or Maino and Yenibutum?
Yo, me does it brave. What can you say, Mesri? If we say, we share the political discourse of politicians, especially manifesto, campaign messages, victory speech, this Manemana, I then so with time, there is a disconnect between some kind any actual, reality on the ground. You know, answer what they are called 2016 and summer and Akufo-Addo kai nice one. Then so no equivalent in who say and sheda and try yes it's ye near a Mahama Kazisiano Swa and also sa come. So now the Ghanaian is holding the politician to accountability. Say one summer walk ye share any say ubedi juma. I'm say Mahama can say Ghanaians are watching us. So almost sharing past they will never forgive us. So what? You know, sa pepe na ye kono. You know, ABC 2016. Itweguya 2024, 8 years. Ina anyamena meke ne hunia akoso. This year also Mahama or just 4 years, only 8 years. Now within that 4 years, no, what can sama I will show say oh nyama be kokama. Na we are working. Na yami desa no ankasa kase. Yenhwe ye na yensama ye ken Ghana fo no omani ehwe omani die che say ye be ye nya ye ka no. ono ankasa admit sa into no so akasa dia ampa so yin na die say ne waka no sa pepepe no beye wo share promises so egu hon so ra bebre na within these 4 years no ye hwe how a umbetimi executive sa ne mani na
utie se tepe utie Haruna utie ono ankasa I am sure say they are consciously aware
very much
of the task ahead. Onim se Ghana for ehwe no. Onim se eden. Enti bibusa se na no munyan emma na mo pre no. Meka se o ba beto dollar afekire ne se. O ba beto inflation. O ba beto eka. O ba beto energy crisis. Sa dum so issue yi. Se se eka da ho. O ba beto say 2026 uwo ekabia ke wasa ban we tu a wa pushi akọ 2026 o ba beto the time unemployment here 14.1. The reality is that obetimi aye
any ansem no if you say Buribeka say why inherit nyama bebre a emu odu sine konso a emu edu pa enu ntino within the 4-year time frame na ewo mu no na what they share enema na ewo ho na just say I was say or starting tempanara na odi nyema toto akwemu na beti banka say ye hwe no if you say nyema na edoso pa nyema na obobo ni na no edoso enye easy so say obeti na ye no animanim ya I was say odi crack team di guho obeti mi aye executives mandate no and this Ghana for one thing about Ghana for Ghana for say yemfa ho ne wonsama obeka ene yemfa ho ne how obeye no ne ye hwe ne say waka say obeye wanya time no so a ye beto so aba na afia UFO you know I think say already Mahama is feeling the weight and the burden of the responsibility na sia eda ho
o sha say on said then time baby wo ho say ne pressure pa na wo dwene ho ne ye after 7 January 2025 ohwe ekai wo ho eno na okoye honeymoon ho nsem eno ohye ase oka say me ba mebie books ni mu akire yem wo hu eka amene oman no yemu bi were strong on him say we are not ready to give him any honeymoon debi ena we are not ready for him to lecture us. We know the reason why we voted you out and we know the reason why Ghana for ni dento mututia Nana Akufo-Addo ni Dr. Bawumia. So, but this is where I say first 120 days, you know, obey some meeting we know here was in Chino Ebi. Or the Ghana for Ebesiana ya dwen Ghana home. Is that necessary at the time? Unim the problem no. Some meeting who here.
Me the America say and can who here. Now so see time emreni ho. And a Ghana for so see a Ghana for nya botre.
Okay.
Yenim say enema ankoyie nti no se oka say afina mbetwen maye meeting ni ade a wanhwe a na ebufora ahyase aba oso.
Okay.
So be kai amra na era mills occurring credit no. Na Rollins na I'm say no funny easy man cry if you say or say no or che. So be kai 2209 Hawkon or say it was taking him too long to settle. So it was taking too long for him to settle. So Pepe na Ghana for area. You see, given what has happened and what is in front of us right now, no, we expect to say abai back koso aye na dwuma 10 panara. So 120 days come aye. Then so no any say or check too much or want to because over 4 years, only 8 years. The 4 years no, or the 120 let's say 4 months. Let's just say almost half the year no. I don't know the baby sane mana na just a be hard bebre into no media nka kamen kwa nka tempana on start won't take lesser time or the bay cross checking yamana fi on hitting the ground running.
So the issue of corruption ye the tutiano uti Nana Akufo-Addo corruption and then omunsoka corruption yenimso corruption perception index no so where nya over 50 or more homodin. Ghana intimi nya 50%, you know. In fact, Ononedian was, 48, 2014, 43, OE, and then Akufo-Addo still 43. Into corruption na edi tuti a John Mahama no. Ana na Akufo Dubai we ntimi anye. We mu nso ka corruption. Doc, but the reality is that wono mudi John Mahama echi nyina na koma di o mache. Ono nso say ministers yukra na be 60. Obia nso pe adwuma. That's the reality. They say samide mfimu ne busuafo nyina na obia be pe adwuma afimu ho. Enti on sha say communication enye say for the party ankasa omunso feel say my bible bi na sha say omun rewura office na sifo because of a com. Say no be say ayama supporters na ye calm ansa na oba bi Ghana for no so.
Ne also ye ne say I was say ohwe the national agenda ne kane. Or you see an okoye party semni ade a na just the status quo same thing na happen. Into no ohwe national on executive national agenda no on say enyema na waka no wa executive na say we di super pepe. Na say also ka say Ghana the victory is for all Ghanaians and not just for the party. Well, you know, Ziano will hold him accountable to his words. Say, ampa Ghana for ina na we say NDC. Nanso no, I was say or yenema ebema Ghana edikan and sana party aba. So okay, so ye party semni adia. I was say yeah, we have to fix all these people. Fine, but say no di kan a ebe ha adwin bebre. If say Ghana for so ina ehwe. Say one sama o kan no. Odi bedi juma wan fa ndi juma na je say ye be tenensa wo so aka say nya wo kan no wan kan de na je say wa dada Ghana for
a burden ya trusted politicians say because ohwa ye wo woma mo ye MPP for kra no say ehisem ti ye tuatia no ti wunya MPP for bi a omututia John Mahama and then you can say Dr. Baumia. Now, you're quite Ashanti region. Ashanti region, Dr. Baumia, the general turnout in Ashanti region was 65%. NDC, 33%. It been seen that for especially NDC. Omayeres one year 28. In fact, Atamils here 19%. The highest was John Mahama no mu pushi 26 in Nasefo. NDC etimienya 33% was Ashanti region. Etimienya city bear 78 bia unyindi emu independent kraba. So okay, Pacho me ba yenko tema central na fe me ba na yahwe Ashanti region dia no. Okay. NDC 33 as against Dr. Baumia and Swati. Isabella Gidiglu, Ewo Tema Central. Isabella Temenka.
Me patro me tonka.
And then of course what Tema Central.
Okay, iti no say enka yisi yes enka declare Tema Central almost parliamentary seats results no. But a delay kakra iti no tax bi ebera collation center ho attack and Kofu are no more collation center honomo. No, I know brass kakra no and a parties need 90 easy. They decided say, okay, Sadia, almost any collation, almost no Chemu secondary school honomo. Into no different gentlemen, and no ban so mobile and was my regional command. In some sense, Yame Tuesday, and I'm from everybody and was my regional command and say. By a farm, say I know president, but we just Tuesday to it's the emperor, the Marina command, and no power. Into an opening na by hand to say, Yaba, better hire entity for no tell hand to say, Womana, lady loan, Eddie Bright and so a buy. Into their swab move on almost started, yeah. Entity in for any entity in for region, almost normal buy. It's the entire 100 states. If you have what we almost started from a year, who fully Yama. I feel that for face. A woman, you will take the sun and that in the freeway. A band say, your friend say, NDC Fono, say, we're not more police, 3 pink 3B, yan sign, that pink 3 no, almost extra say. Say, yeah, the Akawa, and say, but say, the Kawa, ebeko in favor ama bema no MPP ana say yafa anka ho a ebeko in favor ama ye friend say NDC Inti no NDC lawyers ni bi ba o NPP mpanyifo no so bi ewo hono mo inti inomo ebe conclude say de a nya ya sign da na omo edi ye ejuma tali ya na eba ne say nka oba NDC ebe di kan o de wi no omo nya eno no sa no mu declare na nya on charge no on fan court ana ada no sadia no enya she se we no so ebe ye ya na tre no so na eda on so no mu ni na no ye hu result intate ni pasta intino omo identification sa di omo pass court sa enyu me ya wo hono pa member say guys need the omo around omo say ye best planner omo ye no omo jubilate no omo we say still days no omo di omo ho e be good tam original system man but aye police no ino omo ba o ye ta say still omo say for normal task say omo bubu and die no because omo sheshe is officer no ofosuma nanse omo sheshe no please for no rescue no for sure more officers no back it's normal say you know that no SS omo sheshe for in the non declare omo peace you know as winner and yes omo exam say ya wo please for now omo boa say omo be resolve we no adena sayedi enyom tina no omo gadget into omo gadget we no ebi ma pede di afa ne ekọ na egwu kakra ite no omo ni equipment omo de cover we ni no omo ne jo pa te omo mo kakra na omo equipment de kakra no omo ne ehwese omo be pata ntokwa no ye ka say still ntokwa na ekoso wo se se ade agi kwan no so nyina
Isabella if you hu so yempacho na ehia our life mpacho why
Pacho,
that's Isabella get the glow tema central pinchi kakra so but I'm sure say be a police phone bit me manage doc minim say after we know in same be ba expectation to say Ghana for hwe de anim e de afutu na de be ma John Dramani Mahama so
yo me da say say sisi ano e betimi ahome if say na hwe no mu say sa de dai be ba say be ya on be declare result na afi ye nyina etimi akọ aba ntino em say mu nyina amayade ye nyina ayade but ya meka ne say John Mahama was obaso for the second time ye hunu the first time no buy no the second time no any complete departure from the negative aspect and a for a button no because we nya esua de bebre efri mu abaya president da ye hu say de oyeye obomode obabi na baby won so ankoyi kura ni ankoyi no ono ankasa nya internal assessment of himself na fe onhwe ekwan of faso obe free so obi abeka say okay Mahama the second term no much better and improved than the first term no afutu amso de be man no
Dr. Paul Hezwa, a lecturer, University of Media, Arts and Communication, and Oten in Kana. Abusia, minim se enije no te se de okaye no montomo bo ase kakran kakra ifa do ko oko party office ho na bebia John Dramani Mahama kasa na efepa in fact efepa o cost o hwemia won say omani age kakran sa but mami acknowledge me sponsors no kokromoti power 2024 sponsors yedamase Piwak 3P garlic mesha a naturally organic Delosi paint mu champion Haxa capsules and mixture Ulcer Tamfo Syntex tank a strong a tough Exodus capsules a ho adansi die a doso pa Kojak oral care say moja fifiri usim na ope o sino say be stronger a Kojak oral care afen so election coverage Verna Water official water brand for the 2024 general elections enwa na yenom ebusianfo Ghana din kunim Befutuo kakra bi na afi yɛpɔn. Nyame ya adoma America cho so ochina 5:30 mon join ye team ni nyina yɛbɛba ha na afi aba bɛda mo ase yi ba mefutuo a mede be manie Ghana na din kunim Urajo Mahama wankasa wani tua Ghana for de ekom ni ebufu ene tutia Dr. Bawumia se obeye sa ekom ni ebufu no unche yebetu atia yakramo Kokromoti Power your election headquarters Insure FM Asempa Adom Online Insure FM social media TikTok ni nyina no yedamase FM Nana Kojijantua Kokromoti Power your election headquarters.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Mom.
Hope you're having fun at Granny's.
Yeah, but Grandma doesn't have my favorite top chocolate spread. Hi, Mom. Mommy, please, I missed top chocolate spread on bread.
Made just for you and me. Choco, it's chocolate choco, it's chocolate choco, it's chocolate choco. Choco, it's chocolate.
Surprise children! Yay!
Taste of chocolate. This advert is a dear page.
Are you tired of dealing with toilet paper that irritates your skin and clogs your toilet? Your dolices? Wait, I have great news for you. Flora Toilet Roll is the game changer. Flora Toilet Roll is thick, gentle on the skin, and fragrance free, making it ideal to clean your intimate parts as it causes no skin irritations and or allergies. The best part is it is made to dissolve easily, preventing plumbing issues and clogs. Experience the ultimate comfort of Flora Toilet Roll. No more clogs, no more skin irritations.
Brekum, Moya ready, It's a Logi Entertainment at the Black Sheriff at Golden City Park live.
Region, 26 December, Kokupela Meba Brekum Golden City Park. I'm performing live there. That's the venue. As I said, 26 December, and then official Brekum Christmas Day. Until you home, by Chobladishia, Yenum Yensa, Umpering up there.
Artist Kudamwa, what Brunia for Mantem Winner performing live. Showtime is 7 p.m. sharp. 26 December. Bonga half for Bronya Da. Into Sunyai, Doma, Wenchi, Techiman, Bechem, Drobo, and a Sampa, Mumro, the Black Sheriff, and the Kaneho Ewo Brekum, Golden City Park. So open tickets and our table. Bomodiana Fresh 0506 677 742 0548 054 762. Black Sheriff live in Brekum is supported by Spider Web Crew and a Logi Travel and Tour.
Every day is packed with its own surprises. You never know which thrill is around the corner or how it will play out.